Hello everyone. Welcome to another Valis competitive game. This time between 1F and Sing. I don't believe we've ever seen these two teams play together before on stream, at least not on this stream. On screen now you can see a couple of our recent results from a couple of the past weeks. GBB in this specific tournament getting a bye for the first round, going to be facing the winner of this game right after this. So make sure to stick around for that. We've had another couple of teams come in and play. We've had Boys CZ, a Czech team, Dirchblick and GMW playing the first week. Great games from them. Hopefully it went pretty smoothly. It seems like it did. And I'm hoping we get the same experience today. But thank you all for being here and thank you all for showing your support. We love to have you. We'd love to hear feedback to make everything a little bit better for the future. As you can see here, we've got our seeds, our record, our qualifier points, our win rate, and our last five. Looks like 1F by points is seed number 2 so far out of all EU teams, Singularity being seed number 4 with 34 points. A record of 1 win, 0 losses, 0 buys for 1F. 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 buys for Singularity. A win rate of 100 for 1F. A win rate of 0% for Singularity. 1F winning their last one and Singularity losing their last one, funny enough, was also against the same two teams, just due to last week's only being played by 1F and Singularity. This time GBB taking up the third. And I am excited to see how this is going to go. Now, I do expect 1F to play as they normally do. Pretty aggressive, looking for those early advantages. Singularity, not exactly sure how they're going to play it. Very curious to see how they're going to combat that. Now we have a look at our rosters for this game. Looks like we have 2 team captains on the side of 1F, 3 on the side of Singularity, 15 players for 1F, 17 for Singularity. A lot of familiar names on this list. A lot of familiar names. We've seen these people playing for years. Love to see it. Love to see that they are making a return or they've stuck around until now. We'll let that cycle through one more time and we're going to jump over to the team selection as these two teams get their tanks ready to rock and roll. Already got quite a few people from both teams coming in here. Looks like we do have 6 on the side of 1F and 9 on the side of Sing. Just waiting for that last one to appear on the side of 1F. They do have 10 minutes, I guess 9 minutes now before they need to start this round. So plenty of time for 1F to get that 7th, or they do have the option to play a person down. Looks like our first map is going to be Prokhorovka, followed by Steps. 2 very interesting maps. I don't believe that either one of them have been played so far in the beta tournament. So this is going to be a fresh look for both of these teams. Definitely was not played last week whenever these two teams faced before. So very curious how they're going to take this compared to last time, which ended up being a 3-2 victory for 1F. Very close, down to the tiebreaker Ghost Town, which we may see come out again today. And if you guys are a fan of the content, make sure that you hit that follow button. Go check our YouTube out and join the Discord so you can keep up to date with all the action and register for future tournaments with your team. Looks like they did go ahead and select up Prokhorovka, so we are about to get this next round underway. Not sure if 1F is going to be able to pull the 7th, but just like last week, they did play a man down for at least a round or two. We're still able to take the victory at the end. Now, this is going to be a 7v7 Tier 10 format, which I believe is the only one running at the moment. So expect to see some fairly standard competitive play versus maybe something you've seen in Calamity before. Or, who knows, 1F does like to spice things up from time to time, put some tanks in some unusual locations to try to throw off the other team. Maybe we'll see that again today. This will be qualifier week 3 for the tournament out of a total of 5. 2 more weeks for teams to register and compete. And then we'll go into our playoff section, which will span 3 weeks, consisting of the top 8 teams, or however many we have playing this beta tournament, until concluded. And that will be in a best of 7 format up until the finals for the losers and winners bracket, which will be a best of 9. And then on to the grand finals and grand final reset if needed. And that will be a best of 11. Looks like will.i.am going to go ahead and throw up a Chieftain Mark 6. Very good DPM on that tank. So I believe they're going to go ahead and start picking, even though they are down 1 person. It looks like they may be playing a 6v7 for this first round. Now, this tournament will be using the integrated Valis tournament system hosted on valis.gg, which will feature live match chats for these 2 teams. So they will not have to use any outside communication source. Everything is located in one spot, and the bracket is live and viewable to everyone. So if you go to valis.gg/tournaments, you will see this bracket right now. You unfortunately won't be able to see the match chat, as that is only viewable and messageable to these 2 teams competing. However, you will be able to see the live score as the games are completed, who is going to be seated next, and if a VOD was uploaded for those. So plenty of information there. If you ever want to catch up on things, you don't want to catch a stream, you just want to keep up to date with what's going on, make sure you go over on tournament day and the day after. Go to valis.gg/tournaments. Click on whatever region you want to see, and you will see the live bracket registrations results as they come in. All right, plenty more 1F people showing up now. We are well over the 7. So it does look like we are going to start throwing up those tanks and start our first round on Prokhorovka MBA. Just a reminder that these are best of 5, so these will not last too terribly long, which allows us to cover multiple games all the way up to the finals each week. Thanks to our new integrated system with the website as well onto stream, which will automatically update all of our assets as we run through these rounds. All right, looks like we've got more tanks coming up. Wizzy pulling out a Stritzfon 103B. Randy Duck now pulling out an Object 277. will.i.am still in that Chieftain Mark 6. VK Star Commando in the Batchat 25T just threw that up. We are well underway into our tank picking. Tanks now pulling out a Valor and Yaspam on the side of Singh, pulling out an IS-7. Looks like fairly standard picks for Prokhorovka. Curious to see if anyone is going to pull out one of those more rare tanks. So far, fairly standard, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly good competitive match between these 2 teams. Like I said last week playing, they ended up scoring 3-2, one up taking the win. So very, very close. And I expect to see something similar yet again this week. Looks like the side of Sing is going to play a Rampanzer. Gonna pull out that light tank, try to get a little more vision. Probably out in the field and rotate over to Hill. If not, play quick towards town. Side of 1F picking up a few more tanks, including an E50M and a T100LT. Both sides opting to pick a light tank. Good for information. That is something in Calamity that we didn't see a lot of. There was a lot of teams that chose to run another medium over the light tank. But this time we are not short at all on the side of light tanks. One for each side so far. Looks like we do have 7 on the side of 1F with the Sente X coming out to round that off. Side of Sing looking at 6. One more to go. We are going to get round number 1 on its way. Now the Stritzvon 103B on this map can do quite a bit of damage with that DPM and that concealment. We've seen it happen before. Plenty of 4K, 5K games, a lot of cleanup kills just due to the slow reload on that thing. And I expect to see something very, very similar in this. Trying to utilize Wizzy in the best position they can. And hopefully he can get some work done. Get to the one on this first round. It looks like we have 7 for both sides. I believe they are going to start this game any second now. We are going to head over into round number 1 on Prokhorovka with 1F on defense. On the side of 1F, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a Valor, an Object 277, a Centurion AX, an E50M, a T100, and a Stritzvon 103B. On the side of Singularity, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, an Object 277, 2 IS-7s, a Batchet 25T, a CS-63, and a Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. It looks like the side of Singularity going a little more speedy with that CS-63 Batchet combo, more so than 1F. It looks like they are going to go ahead and send those over to the hill, which was expected. Side of 1F seeming to play most of their tanks in the field, with 2 of their mediums going down the right side of the 5 line, left side of the 6. Going to play more towards the B cap, but over tracks. Magna trying to spot up on the other side towards hill. Looks like the E50M does get lit. They are going to know he's there. Magna now getting a good spot on Sin in return. Randy Duck, good spots there from him. He does make it over into Bowl and spots the Ram. Will.i.am going to support from the backside of the Bowl. Randy Duck did make it all the way forward. There are 2 heavy tanks back there. Killing tank on the left side of Will.i.am. Light tank trying to get any kind of spotting he can. They're not able to quite hit him. He is doing a good job of lighting up the middle, even though he is kind of trapped in the back. He doesn't really need to be there. Not much he can do at this point in time. Looks like we have some blind fires coming in from the CS-63 on hill, trying to hit anything over here for 1F, just to get a little bit of a damage advantage, which so far they have with that single shot on the E50M. Singularity already about 1,000 hit points up to start this game. Good blind fires there from Faulty, trying to hit anything on the hill. He knows that CS-63 is probably up there. Going to try to get a sneaky shot onto him if he can. So far, pretty stagnant game. Good positions from both sides. Each team waiting to capitalize on a mistake made by their opponent. But so far, not too many mistakes to be made. Wizzy set up in a good position to punish mid if they do try to peek. Yaspem now getting lit. No punishment on him, though. Is able to bounce that shot from the Chieftain Mark 6 played by Will.i.am. So far, we are sitting still. Wizzy not able to get too many shots going. Everyone playing very defensively. Now, it is important to note Singularity is playing attack. They are going to have to make a move eventually. So far, already burning down about 2.5 minutes of our game time. Looks like the Rampanzer is going to play a little more aggressive towards Magna here. Does get spotted, is hiding behind a house. Not sure if he's going to be able to get out with no punishment. He does take one from the Sente X, played by Faulty. Getting those hit points a little bit closer than they were before. Shots from the hill trying to go into tanks. EFVM trying to get a blind shot on the Rheinmetall. More blinds going towards the hill. Trying to get any little bit of damage they can. So far, good hits on Yospam from tanks, and that Valor does get a bounce in return. Yospam now down to 1,599 hit points, and now Black Paradise is lit, taking one from Randy Duck. Tanks taking a big bleed in return, down to 1,135 hit points from the hill. Nothing back on them. So far, Singularity still holding out that hit point advantage, but not for too long. Here comes some shots into Black Paradise, putting him down to 1,180. Good balancing factor there, bringing the hit points down back towards an even slate. Was an unfortunate moment to get lit there. Good farm from 1F as the Singularity players tried to cross back towards the mid-ridge. Not able to do it unpunished. Good hit into the CS63 blind fire. Wow, what a shot. Now we've got Wizzy trying to get some poking shots on these tanks playing mid. So far, still very even now. 1F with the first hit point advantage of the game, up about 500 hit points. Singularity going down near 5 minutes. Already half of the match time expired. And not quite the position they wanted to be in at this point, as they will need to either kill all the tanks or capture the base before that time runs out. Looks like Singularity has rotated that Bat Chat off of Hill into the back of their spawn down the K line, leaving the CS63 on Hill alone. I think they realize that he is not contested and that everything is actually going to be playing on the field side for 1F. Looks like we have the push coming from 1F, led by Magna and the T100LT, followed by the E50M and Sent AX. Going to try to get a good position on the killing tank, Yospam and Black Paradise, as Yospam tries to get over that ridge, but he's going to get punished for it. Big hits into Yospam, down to a one-shot. Are they able to clean him up before it's too late? Looks like he is going to get over. Black Paradise now the one taking the punishment. Same with the killing tank. VK Star Commando getting ammo racked. Big hits into him, down to a one-shot as well, putting multiple Singularity tanks down to a one-hit. VK Star Commando going down to the Chieftain Mark 6. Now Magna in a good position to get side farm on this other Chieftain Mark 6, played by the killing tank on the side of Singularity. Not much he can do with this situation. Here comes the push from 1F, trying to clean him up. Good push into him. Looks like we do have base pressure coming in from the side of Sing. Tank's going to try to take care of that. Hold him back as much as he can. Big push out of 1F here. Going to go ahead and take down Yospam in the IS-7, then Black Paradise in the Object 277. Finally, Sin in the IS-7, last one alive. Big hit point advantage and tank advantage on the side of 1F. This big ammo rack as well. Big ammo rack. Another ammo rack, it looks like, in return. Wow, 1 for 1. Incredible. Looks like it is going to be a cleanup here. Singularity not quite able to finish out the cap. That is going to be our first round for 1F. Taking a look at the scoreboard on the side of 1F. We have Will I Am in the Chieftain Mark 6, 2 kills, 3,609 damage. Jacob in the E50M, 3 kills, 2,835 damage. Tanks in the Valor, 0 kills, 2,662 damage. The Randy Duck in the Object 277, 0 kills, 1,958 damage. Magna in the T100LT, 1 kill, 1,689 damage, 2,090 assisted, and was able to spearhead that push down the road which ended up giving them the advantage in the field. Faulty in the Cent AX, 1 kill, 1,343 damage, and Wizzy in the Stritzfawn 103B, 0 kills, 804 damage. Not quite able to utilize that thing's DPM how he wanted to, just due to their positioning, but nevertheless was able to take out the victory that round. On the side of Singularity, we've got Sin in the IS-7, 1 kill, 907 damage. Mr. Mini Fracas in the CS-63 with 0 kills, 1,471 damage. Black Paradise in the Object 277, 0 kills, 1,305 damage. VK Star Commando in the Batchat 25T, 0 kills, 711 damage. The Killing Tank, Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 709 damage. Yaspem in the IS-7, 0 kills, 453 damage. And Harm in the Rheinmetall, 0 kills, 317 damage, and only 883 assisted. Rough time for Singularity in the field. 1F doing a great job of keeping them over the ridge with little opportunity. Looks like we already have a couple of tanks being thrown up on the side of Sing, ready to rock and roll, similar to what we saw last time. Looks like they're not changing it up too much so far. But wow, what a first game. What a good play by 1F. Opting to leave the hillside uncontested. And it did indeed pay off. What a good read on that one-line push. Good job to the T100 LT, E50M, and Cent AX for getting that done. And then a good finishing push over the tanks in the field. Looks like we are quickly picking up tanks for this next round, this time with Singularity on defense. Singularity opting to also pick a Stritzfawn 103B on defense. Hopefully they are able to get a little more work out of it this time. But 1F may try to play so that it has a significant disadvantage and is not able to get shots, kind of like what we saw happen with Wizzy last round. Though to no fault of his own. Side of 1F picking the T100 LT again, this time with a Batchat 25T and an Object 277 and that Chieftain Mark 6. Side of Singularity so far with a 103B, Chieftain Mark 6 IS-7, Batchat 25T, and a second IS-7. Pretty similar to what we saw last round. 1F, though, changing it up a little bit and playing a Leopard 1, a tank known for its amazing gun, good penetration, great APCR premium rounds. That thing can be damaging if put in the right position. Probably will play towards hill, but we will see what they end up doing with that. Could also play towards the back of one line, depending on what their strategy is. Just a reminder that after this, we have a second game coming up. It will be the winner of this game versus GBB. GBB's first time ever playing in a Valis tournament. So big thank you to them for registering their team, getting the roster built, and signing up for this week. Looks like we are one tank short on the side of 1F. About ready to get this next round started. Singularity going to look to tie this up 1-1 as we head into steps. Because this is a best of 5, that will put them in a game point situation if they do lose this round. So a 1-1 scenario will be the best outcome possible for Singularity. Because this is a qualifier week, the games are fairly short to allow all the games in the tournament bracket to be played in a single day. Playoffs a little bit different. Playoffs, we will see 2 to 3 games a day, spanning 3 weeks. Again, if you guys want to check out those live brackets, make sure you head over to valis.gg/tournaments. And you should be able to see a live match results and future games as they're played. We'll also be having a VOD that you're able to watch. Should be linked up to that as well. And we're going to head on into round number 2 on Prokhorovka, this time with Singularity on defense. On the side of Singularity, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, 2 Object 277s, 2 IS-7s, a Batchet 25T, and a Stritzvon 103B. On the side of 1F, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, 2 Object 277s, an IS-7, Batchet 25T, a Leopard 1, and a T100 LT. Side of Singularity, yet again, coming out a little more heavy, more hit points to work with off the bat, almost 1,000 up to begin with. Just short, and also significantly less mobile. 1F choosing to use that mobility a little more. It looks like the Leopard 1 is going to be playing towards the back of the 1 line. They are opting to leave Hill completely uncontested. Yet again, going to play field. Singularity already getting a couple of tanks spotted by Magna. Yaspam should get spotted here as well, and he does. Magna getting spotted in return. Good information for 1F there. Now knowing that one of their tanks has committed all the way over to the C8 area. Going to be hard for him to rotate in time if they do take advantage of the hill push. Sorry, of the field push. Though Randy Duck does take a punishment getting into bowl. Big hits back into the killing tank from those tanks sitting back in the J1 K2 area. Tanks taking one as well. Randy Duck trying to get a shot into the Stritzvon 103B. Not quite able to get a shot over there. Good blind attempt though. So far, another pretty slow game. 1F opting to take the bowl once again. Yaspam still sitting, waiting for anything to come up over the hillside. Not aware that nothing is over there quite yet. Shots from the Stritzvon 103B. Trying to get into Randy Duck. Not quite able to connect. Got some pings coming out as well. Pinging back towards that A6 area where that Batchat's sitting. Trying to alert people that there may be someone there. Stritzvon 103B, 2 Object 277 stacked up around the A1, A2, B1, B2 area. Trying to get any kind of shots if they do commit over. But right now, seemingly a stale game, but plenty of time left on that timer. 7 minutes and 40 seconds. More than enough for a good push or base play or rotation. And it does look like, speaking of rotations, they have put Jakob in the Batchat 25T up on the hill, who's going to try to get some side shots. And if they are able to spot Yaspam, maybe able to get a few shots into him. Tank attempting to shoot the killing tank in the side, not quite able to connect. Magna playing pretty forward down the 1 line. Trying to get any kind of spots, and he does. He manages to spot Black Paradise in the back in the Object 277. Good information on the side of 1F there. They need to know where those heavies are sitting. Another blind fire attempt from the Object 277 played by Wizzy. Trying to get any kind of hit point advantage they can. So far, 1F still down about 1,000 hit points. Singularity playing those heavy tanks. Yaspam is going to go ahead and make a play towards the hill. Unaware if the Batchat 25T is there or not. But he is going to sneak his way up. Did manage to do it undetected. Probably won't get detected till he's well on top of the hill, spotting the Batchat 25T if he decides to play it. It looks like he is going to continue his way up. Try to get any kind of information they can. Get more map control. That is going to prevent 1F from playing the entirety of the map. And there's the double cross spot between Yaspam and Jakob. But teammates unable to support. So not much going to happen over there. Looks like we do have the Leopard 1 rotating to join the Batchat 25T on hill. Magna playing forward in that G8 position. And here comes VK Star Commando from the side of Sing. I think they're going to try to take advantage. They believe it's a 1 tank advantage, but I'm not sure they're aware that 1F has already rotated those tanks back over. It looks like Steel Titan is going to head back towards field. Same with Magna. Jakob going to rotate back as well. Magna is spotted. I believe spotted from that Batchat 25T. opting to leave the hill behind and play more towards field once again. Blind fire coming out of the IS-7 there, trying to catch somebody leaving. Not quite able to pick anybody up. Still pretty stale on the side of the field. Randy Duck just holding down the bowl. Killing Tank trying to contest. 3 tanks in the back line for Singularity. And Sin holding down tracks by BCAP, contested by Tanks. Now, Tanks does have to be careful. If he is not careful, he will get shot in the side by the Bad Chat in the IS-7. I believe he does know that he is playing quite far back, which is good. His one purpose is to hold Sin down, make sure that he can't get any good side shots onto Randy Duck. So far, he's doing a great job of that. IS-7, a fairly low silhouetted tank. And here comes the stack up from 1F, going to be pushing down the 1 line. Another similar play to what we saw last time. William diving into bowl. Randy Duck crossing over to the 2 line. Is getting punished, though. Good hits from the 277 and the Stritzfon 103B. Randy Duck going down to 600 hit points. Now Killing Tank going down to 740. So far, still a big advantage on the side of Singularity. Randy Duck going down to a 1-shot. Killing Tank still alive, and William getting punished in the side as well. Looks like we have a counter push from Singularity. Going to push out Tanks here. They've got a 2-to-1 advantage. So he's probably going to go down as well. Magna getting good shots on the Stritzfon 103B, trying to prevent that DPM, but Jakob taking punishment down to 877. Evened up the hit points, though. Nearly dead even. Stritzfon 103 is going to go down. Magna down to a 1-shot. Magna is going to go down to the Bat Chat. Object 277, played by Ferret, down to a 1 hit as well. Wizzy still with good hit points. Same with Still Titan. Like Paradise. Last one alive for Singularity out of this push. Able to get one more into Wizzy, but is going to go down here. With, I believe, no more punishment into the 1F side. 1F with a 1 tank advantage, but also with about 500 hit point disadvantage. VK Star Commando almost reloaded as well. Here comes the push from Yaspem onto Will I Am. Going to try to get him out. Getting into that bowl position to get some cover. Not able to get him out with that ram, but should be able to finish him off any second now, and he does. No punishment really back from 1F because he's in that bowl spot. And a good shot from the Batchet onto Wizzy as he's trying to cross back over. Yaspam now stuck in the bowl, not able to get out without a massive punishment. Still Titan, still on full hit points. Gonna try to maneuver himself around and get a few shots on him. But here comes Sin trying to back him up. But if he's not careful, he will take a few shots. Still Titan gonna try to get that crossfire going, which will be pretty detrimental to that bowl position. Same with Sin. Still Titan and Sin both not able to connect and pin. But I believe Still Titan's going to start putting in some work on Yaspam here in just a moment. Fortunately, he does have a tank carcass to hide behind, preventing him from getting bled more than he should. Star Commando still full HP, though not super important with the batch yet. Would be a little more important to have that on those heavies. Still Titan now in a good position to get a good shot onto Sin here, and he does, putting him down to a 1-shot. Wizzy now down to a 1. Batchat unable to finish him off. He does lose his clip. Does not take one in return, though. Yaspam now going to look to finish off Wizzy, as Wizzy is going to try to get him out of that tank carcass. Now Still Titan holding most of the hit points. Going to try to take Sin out right now, and he does. Good shot from him. Now Yaspam tanks on every side of him. Batchat 25T is going to have to come in and try to clean up these two tanks. Ooh, big hits into Yaspam there. Not good. Getting him down to 527 hit points. Still a slight advantage on the side of Singularity. Batchat is reloaded. Yaspam going to try to take out this 277. He needs to get this or it's going to be really unfortunate for him. He's not able to pin it. That's not going to be good. Here comes 277, but not quite able to get that finishing penetration. Batchat 25T not going to get in the fight. Instead, I believe he's going to try to play for time, which is smart. They've got 50 seconds left. They are on attack. They have to either kill Star or try to capture out the base. And they only have 44 seconds. They're going to have to chase him down. They know that. I believe they're going to start going for him. They do not have time to capture it. I think they're going to realize any second now. Yep, here they go. They're pushing for it. VK Star Commando going to do the smart thing. He's going to try to put as much distance between him and the other players as he can. Just try to survive. They're not going to have enough time to kill him at this point without an ammo rack. And he's going to stay unspotted. This is going to be a 1-1 game. 1F versus Singularity. Beautiful win for Singularity there. Very, very close game. Literally down 2 time. And a good play on the side of defense. Almost can't get more even than that. What a game and what a good round for Singularity. Let's go look at that scoreboard. On the side of 1F, we've got Steel Titan and the Leopard 1. 4 kills, 3,653 damage, putting in good work there. Will I Am in the Chieftain Mark 6. 1 kill, 2,612 damage. Wizzy in the Object 277. 1 kill, 1,896 damage. Jakob in the Batchat 25T. 0 kills, 1,495 damage. The Randy Duck in the Object 277. 0 kills, 1,403 damage. Tanks in the IS-7. 0 kills, 1,278 damage. And Magna in the T100 LT. 0 kills, 1,163 damage. On the side of Singularity, we've got VK Star Commando in the Batchat 25T. 1 kill, 2,418 damage. Black Paradise in the Object 277. 0 kills, 2,275 damage. Sin in the IS-7. 0 kills, 2,169 damage. Yaspam in the IS-7. 3 kills, 1,836 damage. DJ YOLO Swag in the Stritzfon 103B. 0 kills, 1,614 damage. Ferret Man in the Object 277. 1 kill, 389 damage. In the Killing Tank in the Chieftain Mark 6. 0 kills, 689 damage. We're going to head back over to the team selection. Go ahead and award Singularity the win for that round. And we are going to head over into steps with 1F back on defense. What a good round there. What a good even game. Great play from Singularity. Good awareness from the Batchat to not get involved in that fight that he was potentially going to lose. And instead playing for time, the one advantage of the defense side. Good plays. They're very smart. And now puts Singularity in a position where the slate is even once again. We may be going to Ghost Town and seeing another tiebreak just like we did last week. And for any information that's not present here today, if you're curious about rule set, how it works, things like that, make sure you head over to the website, balance.gg. Click around the website a little bit and you can see things like the rule set and how it works, how things are calculated, live brackets, and more. Also, make sure to go check out our YouTube channel where we post all the VODs for our games. So if you want to catch the action back again, don't want to pull it up on Twitch, please go subscribe to that channel for any previous coverage. Looks like we do have some tanks coming out so far. On the side of Singularity, a Minotauro. Very interesting tank pick. I do like that. That's spicing it up a little bit. Side of 1F, we've got Wizzy back in the 103B. Magna back in the T100 LT. Will I Am in the Chieftain Mark 6. Tanks in the IS-7 and Faulty in the Kronvon. VK Star Commando going to be pulling up a Progetto 65. Not a very popular pick. Not one we see a lot. But it is interesting to watch that thing out there on the battlefield. And I always love it whenever we've got a couple of unpopular picks. Spices things up a little bit. Keeps things interesting. Got a BZYG coming up for the side of Singularity. That is one of the limited tanks, but it is not banned. That is the first time that we have seen this tank come out, I believe, in competitive on stream anywhere, as I don't think any tier 10 events have been going since that tank is released. So very curious to see how that's going to play out. But just to double check, if you guys want to follow along at home, make sure all the rules are being followed on each regional tournament page. You can find the list of banned and limited tanks, where they are easily laid out for you guys to view. I am very excited to see how that BZYG is going to be played. I know it is quite a powerful tank in the right hands, in the right situation. Side of 1F finishing up their 7 picks with the Sente X and a Super Conqueror. Side of Singularity picking up a 277. Just 3 short, and we can get on into round number 3. First round on steps with 1F on defense. All right, 5th pick for Singularity, a Chieftain Mark 6. Just 2 more to go. What a good game so far. Very, very even games. First one, a little more dominating by 1F. Second one, right down to the wire for Singularity. Curious to see if we're going to have something similar happen on this map, as it is another good map for positioning. So far, game's getting down to the last couple of minutes, if not full time. It's a very long, good game so far. Looks like we do have 7 from both sides, so we are going to get this next round started. Round number 3, first round on steps. On the side of 1F, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a Super Conqueror, a Kronvon, an IS-7, a Centurion AX, a T100 LT, and a Stritzvon 103B. On the side of Singularity, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a BZYG, an Object 277, another Object 277, a Progetto 65, a Manticore, and a Minotauro. Minotauro is a fairly interesting pick on this map as well. Usually you see a Rheinmetall, or most popularly a T100, as they are able to get decent camo, sit on base, and also get some shots in return. Manticore, not the greatest with his gun, but does have very, very good concealment, and it looks like he's going to be using that concealment to spot absolutely anyone coming down the 890 line. On the side of 1F, double spot for Magna and Harm there. Manticore not quite able to stay hidden. Good spot on Sin as well. It's good information knowing that that heavy tank is going to rotate over towards that 890 line. This is a fairly big map, and it is fairly difficult to move those heavies around to a different flank. Singularity with 3 heavy tanks going towards the track side. 2 heavy tanks for 1F in return. Faulty getting spotted by Yaspem. Yaspem not able to get a shot in the Kronvon. Tank's going to play a back position in the IS-7 where he can get that hull down, use that turret. Faulty going to use that gun depression over the tracks, because that is what the Kronvon is known for. Good turret, amazing gun depression. A little bit of a lackluster gun, but in this position, if he can stay there for a while, not a very bad play. BZYG, new tank on the block. Got to be making a play here towards Faulty. Beautiful looking tank. Let's see if 1F knows how to deal with that, as it is fresh on the block. On the side of 1F, Magna getting good spots on the Chieftain Mark 6, holding him down. Harm not able to get much going over there in the Manticore so far. Sin pretty much permanently spotted by Magna in his position. Not much he can do. BZYG taking a shot there. Will.i.am trying to get more shots into him as well. Another game we see slowing down, almost down 2.5 minutes yet again. Very similar start to the other rounds. These two teams fairly evenly matched. Good lineups from both sides. Star Commando and the Progetto trying to get any position to shoot he can. Magna, though, does get lit. Is going to have to fall back just a little bit. Now the heavy tank and the TD going to push up a little further. Does get lit once again. It looks like they are going to be trying to make a move. And here they come. Straight towards the mid. Straight over towards B-cap. Got that Minotauro and that Chieftain Mark 6. Good push out of them. 1F now going to rotate. Will.i.am coming over to support the B cap was Still Titan. Centurion AX as well. Shot on the move there from Will.i.am. Not able to connect with Sin. Will.i.am trying to get a better position down towards the bottom side. Here comes Still Titan and Jakob with a push on to B cap. Going to try to prevent them from getting any kind of pressure they can. Mr. Mini pushing up towards the middle rock. Not able to get shot by anybody on the 1F side so far, but not quite able to peek either. Sin taking a big one from the T100 LT. What a good ammo racking shot that was. Manticore now getting pushed by Magna. Straight into the Progetto. Progetto's going to have to assist. Magna's going to have to fall back. Big hits into the T100 from the Progetto. Big hits back into the Progetto from Will.i.am and the Centurion AX played by Jakob. And it looks like the Progetto 65 is going to go down. It's a 1-for-1 tank trade, but that Progetto's DPM a little bit better. Looks like the Minotauro is going to try to get some work put in on Still Titan here. He's going to be able to get quite a few shots in. Will.i.am getting some in return. Good penetrations from him. So far, 1F. Significant advantage. Faulty is going to go down, though. Push being completed over trackside by Singularity. Now going to try to push out tanks, though he is in a pretty good position to stall. Wizzy in the Stritzfon 103B with coverage. Minotauro about to go down. Good hit from Will.i.am there. Good hit from the Sente X as well. Super Conqueror trying to finish off Sin. It's going to be an easy cleanup on this side, on the side of 1F. Singularity now down to most of their hit points being held by the Manticore with a fairly bad gun. Not a lot of DPM. Does get stuck on the rock. That's going to cost him. Going to get down to 500. Now 131. Down to a one-shot. Not quite able to finish. They're going to look to track him down. It's not a Singularity. The BZYG down to a one-shot. Same with Yaspem in the 277. Looks like that Stritzfon's going to put in some work. Tank's not quite able to hang on. I think he is going to go down, but he did delay it enough. No, actually, he does stay alive. Good shot there from Tanks and Wizzy. Great job putting down that push. Now we have just one tank left on the side of Singularity. This Manticore played by Harm. Gonna try to get back, get in a bush. But I believe they do know roughly where he is. Trying to blind fire him. He is aware. Here comes Will.i.am and the Chieftain. Any second now, he's gonna get spotted. Should go down. There's the finish. Good round for 1F there. Let's head over to that scoreboard. On the side of 1F, we've got Will.i.am in the Chieftain Mark 6, 3 kills, 3,527 damage. Tanks in the IS-7, 3 kills, 2,645 damage. Wizzy in the Stritzfon 103B, 0 kills, 2,452 damage. Still Titan in the Super Conqueror, 0 kills, 1,964 damage. Faulty in the Kronvon, 0 kills, 1,703 damage. Jakob in the Centurion AX, 1 kill, 1,618 damage. And Magna, the T100 LT, 0 kills, 591 damage. On the side of Singularity, we've got Mr. Mini in the Minotauro, 0 kills, 1,954 damage. Yaspem in the Object 277, 0 kills, 1,798 damage. DJ YOLO Swag in the BZYG, new tank that we have not seen before, with 0 kills, 1,567 damage. BK Star Commando in the Progetto, 65, 0 kills, 1,350 damage. Harm in the Manticore, 1 kill, 1,116 damage. Sin in the Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 1,067 damage. And Ferret Man in the Object 277, 1 kill, 941 damage. Overall, very good plays on the side of 1F, able to counter any kind of push or repositioning that Singularity threw at them. Unfortunately, they were able to get Magna out, but did lose that Progetto 65 in return, which was a major loss on that side. Not quite able to get that farm in like they wanted to while their heavy tanks were holding the ridge towards B-cap. And then on trackside, good positioning from Faulty and Tanks, especially Tanks, allowed Wizzy in the 103B to get a couple shots in there, turn the tides, and take that advantage they had away from them. So good round for 1F. Good plays, good map awareness. Making it 2-1 in 1F's favor. Now game point. Singularity has to take this round in order to see Ghost Town, which is our tiebreaker map. Otherwise, it's going to be Raps, and at 1F is going to go face GBB. will.i.am choosing to take the BZYG as well. Saw that tank come out last game, decided he also wanted to play it. Maybe we'll get to see a little more action out of that this time. So far, pretty good games. Beginning there, again, very even. Very good plays. Not sure I like the Minotauro pick. Maybe would have rather saw a T100 that could have got a little more done, maybe towards the field side. But nevertheless, good game for both sides. Now, as we've seen Singularity, the king of playing defense and using that time to their advantage. We'll see if they do something similar this time. Maybe 1F realizing that they are going to play it slow and utilize that if they can. Going to have to be a little more aggressive this time versus what they did in Prokhorovka. Cytosine going to pull out an IS-7 and a Machine. Machine can do quite a bit of damage. Good burst potential there from that. And is able to get a couple bounces now and then. Looks like we have 3 Bat Chats coming out as well. Very, very heavy on the autoloader. Now, there is one issue. We have 4 autoloaders, and the maximum per team is 3. So we are probably going to have a rule call for that. Again, if you want to follow these rules along, you are more than welcome to go to the Ballas.gg website, go to tournaments, click on any of the regions and click the rule set button. It'll pop up a page and show you absolutely every detail. Gonna go ahead and let them know that they do have 4 autoloaders picked up and that the limit is 3. If you do start the game with 4 autoloaders, there is a rule that says it has to be done before tanks are detected. You don't want to know the other team's lineup or their positioning. So it is courtesy to go ahead and call it out as soon as possible. If it is called out too late, the game will have to play on, even if a rule is violated. But I have let them know. All right, looks like they have taken that 4th one out. So we are back in compliance with the rules. 1F, all 7 tanks picked up. We are about to go ahead and get this game moving on. All 7 picked up for 1F, just waiting on that final 2 tank selection on the side of Singularity. 1F going fairly heavy with no light tank. Very surprising for 1F. Magna does love that T100 LT. We have seen him play it, I think, every game so far. Side of Singularity. Looks like they also have not picked a light tank yet. Curious to see if they're going to play T100 or Manticore. Though on defense, it's a little less likely to see. Big thank you while we're waiting to all the people that's followed the Twitch today. And anyone that's went and followed the YouTube channel as well, every follower counts for future sponsorships, which we're going to try to use for prizing for these tournaments, for these wonderful teams that come out and support. No cost to them. As a little bit of a way for us to give back to the community, give our thanks. We also run giveaways for any team competing, regardless of winning. Right now, I believe we have 4 $20 codes going out to 2 teams per region. And we'll give that to the team captain, and they'll decide who they want to give that to. Maybe an MVP, someone who showed up to every game, whatever they decide. It looks like we do have 7 and 7 now. We are going to head on into round number 4. Second round on steps, this time with Singularity on defense. On the side of Singularity, we've got 2 Chieftain Mark 6, a Machine, an IS-7, 2 Batchet 25Ts, and a T100 LT. On the side of 1F, we've got 2 Super Conquerors, a BZYG, an Object 277, an IS-7, a Batchet 25T, and a Stritzvon 103B. Big hit point advantage on the side of 1F here, 1,100 up to begin with. We have seen that make a difference in the game. Most of that being contributed to the fact that Singularity does have a T100 LT, 1F choosing not to run a light tank. 1F going very, very heavy towards the B cap, sending absolutely no one towards A cap. Meanwhile, T100 LT setting up towards the A cap to try to get early spots. Yaspem, 2 Batchets and a Machine, all going down tracks. Wrong side of the map for them, though they are unaware. No information has been given out yet. No one spotted. So far, this is looking like a great setup for 1F, unbeknownst to Singularity. Looks like they are going to pause up for a moment on the corner. Here comes the push. Just Faulty trying to get his teammates a little bit closer before he commits. I think they've realized there is no light tank spotting them now. They can get all the way over to the B cap for free. Light tank is just now going to rotate, try to get a spot, but it may be a little bit too late. I think they may be able to get all their tanks over towards the B cap undetected, and that is going to be rough. It looks like they are going to go ahead and ping out the H8 area. Now we have some spots coming out from Black Paradise and Ferret Man. Good shot into Ferret Man from, I believe, the Stritzvon 103B. Now we're going to see those medium tanks and those heavies start rotating around towards the spawn side of attack, which will be 1F. Try to get some side shots and shots at the back of these tanks. But as of right now, 1F with a significant advantage. So far, they're not keying in on it as quick as they should. Not quite sure they're aware of where those other tanks are. I don't think they know they've committed to the backside. And they will take a hot minute to get spotted as no one is back there spotting. They will be able to make it pretty far in. Now they're going for the push. will.i.am and the BZYG tanks in the IS-7 going to put some base pressure on. will.i.am going to peek over, try to get some shots. Does take one from Black Paradise. But he's not quite careful. Yaspam is going to be able to get some shots into him as well as he's playing mid on the rock. So far, big hit point advantage on the side of 1F. 3,500 hit points up. That's more than a full tank worth. Big hits into Singularity. DJ YOLO Swag. He goes down. Unfortunate play out of him. Trying to catch Jakob and Wizzy off guard. Not quite able to do it unpunished. That's, again, a major advantage on the side of 1F. They are now down one of their tanks and one of their autoloaders at that. Here comes Harm in the T100 LT. Going to try to get a quick shot into the BZYG. Does do it. Gets tracked in return. He's going to repair and get out. Ferret Man down to a 2-hit. Black Paradise going to go down any second now. He does. Big hit from the BZYG into him. Going to finish. Still major advantage on the side of 1F. Good shots from Ferret Man into Steel Titan. Yaspem now taking some shots in return from Steel Titan. Big hit from the BZYG into Yaspem. That thing has a quite high alpha damage. It is not good to get shot by that. Star Commando now going to take down tanks in the Machine. He is on reload. Faulty going to try to catch him out. Machine not going to be able to get out. Faulty should be able to clean this up fairly easily. Yaspem now getting pushed. He's going to get cleaned up by Steel Titan. Harm trying to take out the Stritzfon 103B along with the other Batchat. Sin is going to go down. Just Harm left alive. Trying to kill Wizzy. Wizzy able to get a shot in. Down to a one shot. Don't believe he's going to be able to kill Wizzy before he goes down. There he goes. The last one alive is the machine. Going to be finished up by Faulty. And that's going to be our game. That's going to be a victory for the side of 1F. All right, we're going to have those results, and we are going to send them off to the victory screen after that and get ready for our next game. On the side of 1F, we've got Will I Am and the BZYG, 2 kills, 3,093 damage. Good performance from the new tank. Curious how much he blocked there. 1,590. Good job from him. Wizzy in the Stritzfon 103B, 0 kills, 2,937 damage, 1,500 assisted. Steel Titan in the Super Conqueror, 2 kills, 2,516. Faultiers in the Object 277, 1 kill, 2,175 damage. Randy Duck in the Super Conqueror, 1 kill, 1,740 damage. Jakob, Batchat 25T, 1 kill, 1,739 damage. And Tanks in the IS-7, unfortunately not able to get anything done that round. Side of Singularity, we've got Harm in the T100 LT, 1 kill, 1,913 damage. Ferret Man in the Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 1,800 damage. Sin in the Batchat 25T, 0 kills, 1,423 damage. Yaspam in the IS-7, 0 kills, 1,329 damage. VK Star Commando in the Machine, 1 kill, 1,252 damage. Black Paradise in the Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 1,044 damage. And DJ YOLO Swag in the Batchat 25T. Great games out of these two teams. Let's send 1F over to the victory screen. We unfortunately are going to have to cut that one short because we are going to go ahead and get on into the next game. This time it's going to be GBB versus 1F. GBB going to be the home team. This will be the finals for qualifier week 3. Go ahead and update our stuff here so you guys can follow along on the website. All right. We are ready to rock and roll once again. Let me get these stats swapped on over. As we can see, GBB not having played any games yet. Did get a bye in round 1. 1F playing 2 with a 100% victory rate and 40 qualifier points. Winning it last week, getting first place. Win rate of 100%. Win rate not yet calculated for the side of GBB. This will be their first showing. Looks like they are going to go ahead and start filling people up in this team training room. We'll let it cycle through over to the roster and then pull up our team training room. GBB, first time ever playing in a Valis tournament. Also first time ever playing on this stream. So big shout out to those wonderful people over there that decided to register a team, get that roster ready, and sign up for qualifier week 3. Again, if you want to be competing as well, go on valis.gg. There's a getting started guide on there. It will walk you through the 5 steps to get yourself into this match and get it streamed as well. All right, let's head on over to that team training now that we've seen the rosters. Looks like 6 tanks on the side of 1F. Oh, sorry, 5 tanks on the side of 1F with 1 FCM F4 wanting to get in on the action. Going to reset those scores as well. Side of GBB, everybody is locked and loaded. They've had this team training up since the beginning, just waiting for this last game to end. Our first map is going to be Tundra. And our second map is going to be Mines. All right, we've got 7 tanks on both sides picked up. We are going to go ahead and get into round number 1 with GBB on defense on Tundra. All right, on the side of GBB, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a T110E5, 2 Object 277s, a Batchat 25T, and 2 Sente X's. On the side of 1F, we've got a Super Conqueror, a BZYG, 2 IS7s, a Batchat 25T, an E50M, and a T95E6. will.i.am opting to play the BZYG again after we saw him play it last round in the previous match. What a showing for him in that as well. Getting a ton of damage, doing a great job. 1F going to be going down river towards B cap. GBB putting an E5 towards B cap to try to contest. Object 277 does get lit. Other one's probably going to get lit as well. He does. Tanks and Randy Duck getting lit in return. Medium tanks. Centurion AX, and Batchat 25T all going to be going down the 1 line towards the A cap. Quick cap out of 1F here. 3 tanks on cap. Good positioning from them so far. GBB not in a wonderful position to counter this. Only 10 seconds left. Angel Lee is going to have to get a shot in. Put HE, do something. will.i.am able to get a good shot in there. And that's going to be an immediate quick cap for 1F. What a showing. Not much to see on the board there. 1F with just a little bit of damage on the board. GBB with nothing. We've got will.i.am and the BZYG. 1 shot, 744 damage. Tanks in the IS-7. 0 kills, 467 damage. Wizzy in the T95E6, 376 damage. Still tight in the Super Conqueror, 342 damage. And Jakob, the Batchat 25T, 328 damage. Wonderful quick cap out of the side of 7F. That was one of the quickest games I've seen so far, and one of the scary things to face on Tundra. Good positioning can end up costing you. But what a wonderful, wonderful first game from 1F. Catching GBB off guard, giving them the single round advantage. All right, it looks like they're going to close the room pretty soon. I think they're just waiting to hear back from 1F. And if they're able to do that. Side of GBB already picking up their tanks. IS-7, IS-4, 2 Object 277s, a Chieftain Mark 6, and an E5 going very, very heavy. And then 1 light tank for a little bit of information. William and the BZYG yet again loves that tank. Thanks to play the IS-7. Randy Duck in the IS-7. Very, very heavy map. And as we saw from that first round, a very quick one if you're not careful. Again, a great play from 1F. GBB might try to do something similar. We're going to see how this goes. So far, 3 tanks picked up on the side of 1F, waiting for those 4 additionals. Tundra, not quite a traditional map, but was included in the map pool. And eventually it was going to be pulled up to play. Looks like we were waiting for 2 more tanks on the side of 1F. GBB still picked up. Ready to rock and roll. And as we go through these games, we will be improving the stream, the website, and the user experience day by day, following your guys' feedback. So make sure if you are competing or watching the stream, feel free to head over to the Discord and check out that feedback channel. Leave us what you think. We're going to head on over into round number 2. This time with 1F on defense. We'll see if GB does something similar to 1F, as they're going to try to play it quick, or are they going to try to take it a little more slow, a little more methodical? I think 1F, being the ones to do that first round, going to be aware that that is possible, and may try to stop them from doing the same. On the side of 1F, we've got a Super Conqueror, a BZYG, 2 IS-7s, a Batchat 25T, an E50M, and a T95 E6. On the side of GBB, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a T110 E5, 2 Object 277s, an IS-7, an IS-4, and a Rheinmetall Panzervon. Darth Vader going to be diving straight into cab. Here he comes. Going to sit behind the rock, similar to where an IS-7 did on the 1F side. 1F going to be pushing into that. GBB leaving him all alone. That's just an instant advantage on the side of 1F. Bot getting set on fire in that IS-4. Wizzy now coming up to get a little more farm on him. GBB gonna head over to A-Cap. Darth Vader still holding on surprisingly long. Wow. Very shocked by that. GBB playing towards the side of A. Wizzy getting farmed pretty good. It's actually a fairly even game. I'm shocked that this has ended up the way it did. Bot getting his shots into Wizzy there. Darth Vader is going to go down with minimal in return. Here comes Jakob in the Batchat and Faulty in the E50M. Still Titan in the Super Conqueror as well. Going to try to take out iBot. He is going to go down. Still a fairly even game. Faulty taking good punishment. Jakob now coming in with his full clip. Gonna have to try to get him out if they can. Faulty about to go down as well. Jakob gonna get away without dying with that clip. Is on reload though, 7 HP. Jan now down to 536 damage. Adel down to 414. And Cart down to 771. Still Titan with a ton of hit points left. Is going to take down Adel. Now we have GBB in for Tricks. Is going to take down Jakob. Good kill there from them. But the hit points are just so in 1F's favor, with Still Titan holding so many. This is going to be rough for GBB, and I do believe just a straight cleanup for 1F. Going to be taking this to 0-2 in 1F's favor. As we see, I believe Steel Titan's going to put in that last round any second now. And there it is. All right, let's head over to that scoreboard. As we can see, Steel Titan and the Super Conqueror, 2 kills, 5,473 damage. What a crazy game from him. Will.i.am in the BZYG, 2 kills, 2,112 damage. Jakob in the Batchat 25T, 0 kills, 1,876 damage. Tanks in the IS-7, 1 kill, 1,692 damage. Wizzy, T95E6, 1 kill, 1,437 damage. Randy Duck in the IS-7, 1 kill, 1,398 damage. And Faulty, E50M, 0 kills and 326 damage. On the side of GBB, we've got the real Tank B, Chieftain Mark 6, 1 kill, 3,380 damage. Cart in the T110E5, 0 kills, 2,393 damage. Jan in the Object 277, 1 kill, 1,876 damage. Darth Vader in the IS-7, 0 kills, 1,313 damage. iBot in the IS-4, 0 kills, 1,156 damage. Adel in the Object 277, 0 kills, 918 damage. And N4 Tricks in the Rheinmetall, 2 kills and 824 damage. Head back over to our team training. This time going to be on mines, a little more traditional. Tundra, kind of a toss-up, something we wanted to try. Based on how quick it was and the feedback that you guys provide, maybe end up taking that out for the next one. As this is kind of just a test run to get you guys comfortable with it, get the feedback and make it a better experience for you guys. So if Tundra is a little bit too unfamiliar, a little too one-sided, whatnot, we will remove that from the pool for the first minor tournament, which will be coming up in the spring. Sorry, in the fall, not the spring. That will be a 3 minor, 1 major rotation. The minors will give you tournament points, and that's how you get seeded for the major. The major, not registerable, that is invite only, and will be seeded using the top 8 teams who get the most tournament points by winning the playoffs in the minor tournaments. And in order to get into the playoffs of the minor tournaments, you play these qualifier weeks just like this, earn those QP, and get a little bit of prizing and giveaways while you're doing it. And again, thank you to these teams for showing up, being so patient, reading through the rules. We really do appreciate you guys, and appreciate all the feedback that you give us. All right, it looks like we are finishing up our picks with 6 on the side of 1F, all 7 picked up for GBB. GBB now not able to lose another one without ending the game. 1F got them in game point with a 2-0 lead, as this is a best of 5. So we are going to head into game number 3. First run on mines, a little more familiar map, something we've seen in quite a few events before. On the side of GBB, we've got 2 FV215Bs, 2 E5s, 2 Object 277s, and a Leopard 1. On the side of 1F, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a Super Conqueror, the BZYG, an IS-4, an E50M, and 2 CS-63s. It appears that Will.i.am, liking the BZYG so much, since he's played it, actually has not quit playing it. So it appears he is enjoying his time playing that tank. It is, again, a new one for competitive. I don't believe there's been a tier 10 competitive event since it was released. This is the first time we are seeing it, though it is on the limited list, meaning there can only be a maximum of 2. Faulty going to be going into mid, does get away fairly free. Only 1 shot from the Leopard 1, I believe. Wizzy taking 1 as well. Here comes Will.i.am and the BZYG. Big hit into Angel Lee. Good hit from Steel Titan into the real Tank B in the E5. Trix and Jan going to be playing a little bit back on the rock, trying to get some shots as they maybe cross over. Jakob playing on top of will.i.am. Big hit from will.i.am onto Angel Lee. BZYG, nasty gun. Still, again, fairly even hit points. Big hits onto Cart. And the Leopard 1, as he tries to cross, CS63 is in a great position to do that. Faulty going down to 894 hit points. Angel Lee down to a 1, finished off by Steel Titan in the Super Conqueror. Now, Object 277 gets ammo racked and put down to a potential 2-hit. Now down to a 1-shot for will.i.am. Jan still full health. Cart still putting in good work on Faulty there. He does go down. GBB at a little bit of a hit point disadvantage, but it's still not completely out. Jan down to 1,215 hit points. Good hits into Taco Cat as well. Playing that FE215B. Both N4 Trix and Jan down to 1 shots. Playing on the rock. Got to be careful what they do with those hit points. Cannot afford to take another one. Tank B taking some punishment as well from Steel Titan, who's in a great position. Now Jan definitely down to a 1-shot. Leopard 1 holding a majority of the hit points. Trying to keep Wizzy down. Taco Cat is not able to get much going without getting farmed. And now we have Adel in the 215B. Plenty of hit points left from them, but really hard to get shots in without getting farmed for it as well. Here comes Steel Titan with another shot in the lower plate. Good hit from the Leopard 1 onto Wizzy. As Wizzy is going to take down Jan. N4 Trix, the last one alive. Here comes will.i.am and the BZYG. Good hits onto Jakob as well. Wizzy able to get some good shots into Taco Cat off the hill. Leopard 1, unfortunate bounce onto that CS63 on the hill. Adel going to be one of the last ones alive along with Tank B. Looks like they're going to go down next. Tank B, last one alive. Wizzy trying to get that extra shot on. Does kill himself. But the tank and hit point advantage on the side of 1F is going to make this a cleanup and a 3-0 victory on the side of 1F. They're going to hunt down the Leopard 1 now. Down to a 1-shot. Looks like it may be Tanks that is going to clean this up. Maybe Steel Titan as well. Depends on what Cart's going to do and which one of them gets there first. Cart waiting for Tanks to come around the corner. I don't believe he's going to be able to roll him out of the game. And he bounces it anyways, but Tanks does miss, hits the rock and bounces up. That is going to be a cleanup for Steel Titan, and that is going to be a 3-0 victory for 1F. Very quick games on Tundra there. A little bit slower one on Mines. On the side of 1F, we've got Steel Titan in the Super Conqueror with 3 kills, 3,676 damage. Jakob in the E50M, 1 kill, 3,000 damage. will.i.am in the BZYG, 0 kills, 2,948 damage. Wizzy in the CS63, 1 kill, 2,498 damage. The Randy Duck, Chieftain Mark 6, 2 kills, 2,449 damage. Tanks in the IS4, 0 kills, 1,342 damage. And Faulty in the CS63, 0 kills, 435 damage. On the side of GBB, we've got Cart in the Leopard 1, 2 kills, 2,884 damage. The real Tank B in the E5, 0 kills, 1,951 damage. Jan in the Object 277, 0 kills, 1,788 damage. Adel in the FV215B, 1 kill, 1,549 damage. Taco Cat in the FV215B, 0 kills, 1,128 damage. N4 Trix in the Object 277, 0 kills, 812 damage. And Angel Lee in the T110E5, 0 kills, 413 damage. All right, well, great games from these two teams. I really appreciate everyone for showing up today, everyone watching, following, subscribing on YouTube. Couldn't do it without you guys. Like I said, the more people that follow, subscribe, join the Discord, sign up on the website, register teams, the more likely we are to get sponsorships and funding and are able to give you guys prizing and giveaways at absolutely zero cost to you. So thank you to these wonderful teams for showing up, playing these great games today. Everyone out there watching live on Twitch or in the VOD. We're going to send these two teams out with 1F taking the victory 3-0. Going to throw them over to that victory screen. Thanks again for everyone for watching. And we will see you again next Saturday as we head into qualifier week number 4.